evening. Hi. We'll just wait for people to join us before I start. But for those of you catching up after the live video's gone out, this is Inversion Prep and we're working on a bit of strength this evening. I'm Gemma, if you haven't met me before. I'm the laid back yogi. And I wanted to do a series of live videos to introduce you to my style of yoga and to give you the opportunity to practice some yoga in the comfort of your own home, particularly whilst the evenings are drawing in. Evening. So we'll just let people join. And Luna is joining me behind there as well. So welcome. Get yourself comfortable before we begin. Extra points if you have to do yoga around a dog as well. Okay, so we'll start off with a warm-up and just to get you ready, hi Aditi, and just to work into the areas that take a lot of pressure during our inversions. So we're going to start off by warming up the wrists. So if you want to take a seat on the mat, and then we'll start off by just twisting the wrists one way and then the other. And then taking a clasp of the fingers, taking some waves with the arms, just working out the wrists in a different direction. And then the last exercise we'll be doing is creating stars with the hands. Okay, so we've warmed up the wrists. The next pose that I'd like to introduce you to is almost a blueprint for our inversions. So it's a standing pose, taking our arms overhead. So if you'd like to come to the mat, taking a stand. And then I'd like you to take your arms out in front of you, palms facing up. And then taking the hands overhead and making sure that the shoulders are down, so we don't want them shrugging up against the ears. So taking them up. We want an external rotation of the biceps. So the biceps are going to rotate outwards, so externally rotating them. And this is prep for our handstand. So this is where our arms should be when we're in handstand. So when we're in handstand, we're pressing the hands away from the mat, but also keeping the shoulders protracted. So instead of having them retracted, so pinching the shoulder blades together, we want to create some curve in the spine. So when we're bringing the arms up like this, we want to create that curve, creating an external rotation of the biceps and releasing the hands down. from here, we're going to do some work into plank. So again, using the strength poses. So coming down to your mat, and there's the option to bring your knees down in your, sorry, my dog has just decided to steal a plastic bag. So coming down onto your knees, an option here to keep the knees lowered on the mat. So as we come into our plank practice. So we're working again into our upper arms, and we're pressing the mat away and keeping the external rotation. So making sure that the shoulders are away from the ears. So placing the hands flat on the mat, taking one foot back, then the other, and pressing the mat away, allowing the shoulder blades to roll out towards the outside of the arms. Holding it here, always the option to come down to the knees. Really scooping in the belly. I'm going to hold this for a few breaths now. So in order to prepare for inversions, you should be able to have the strength to hold plank for a few minutes. So really pressing the ground away, pressing the mat away. We're only going to hold this for up to 60 seconds today. Thanks, Luna. Extra points if a dog is trying to play with you whilst you're trying to hold plank. So always the option to bring your knees down, particularly if there's a pesky little dog trying to play with you. And bringing the knees back up again if you need to. Okay, so we've done our plank practice for today. Luna apparently doesn't want me to do any more plank. So from here, we're going to work on side plank. So again, we're pressing the mat away with that grounded arm. Option here to keep one knee down. So I'll show you that option as well if you want to practice that. So coming back to our plank, pressing the ground away. And then you've got the option, if you want to keep one knee down, to bring that right knee down, bring the toes out to the side, and then coming onto that right hand, bringing the left arm to sky, gazing to thumb. Alternatively, if you want to come into a more challenging plank, taking right foot onto the side of the foot, left foot on top, taking left arm up into our side plank, really pressing into that top hip, pressing the ground away with that bottom hand. Taking a few breaths here. Spreading through the fingers of the supporting hand. And when you're ready, coming back through your high plank, from whichever side plank you were in, and then we're going to take it to the other side. So option to bring that left knee down, bring the toes out, and come into our gate pose. Breathing here, pressing through the hip. Or if you wish to come into the full expression of the pose, coming onto the side of that left foot, right foot on top, taking the right arm to sky, if the neck allows, gazing up towards your thumb. Breathing here. Pressing through the hip, making sure you're not shrugging the shoulders towards the ears. And don't forget to breathe. The breath is so important in yoga. Making sure that your shoulder is stacked above your wrist. This is really important in your side plank. Coming back through your plank, coming down onto the knees, taking some time out in your child's pose. Taking a few breaths here to end the practice. So thanks for joining me this evening. I will save this video to the Facebook group so you can revisit it. And we've got Yin and Chill on Sunday at 8:30, so do join me for that. So the reason that I wanted to share some inversion prep with you is because I find when you're doing inversions or practicing the prep for inversions, you're not thinking about what you're going to do at work next week, because when you're in headstand, that's all you're thinking about, is getting up into that headstand, using the core. So that's partly why I love doing inversions, and why I wanted to share this with you. So this is going to be an 8-week series of free bite-sized yoga sessions. So pick which ones you want to do, dip in and out. Don't have to come to them live, but if you do, that would be great. All right, thanks so much for joining this evening, and hopefully I'll catch up with you soon. Bye.